Hi, my name is Alex Avetta, Program Development Coordinator with Unite for Sight. Today we're going to talk a little bit about doing presentations while you're abroad in Ghana or India to school teachers in the local villages in which you're doing your outreaches. These presentations are going to be short, only 5 to 15 minutes in length. However, they're going to be going a long way toward establishing a culture of preventive care in the villages that you're visiting. These presentations are only going to be as effective as the memory of the audience is, so you have to make sure that your presentation is memorable. To that end, keep in mind a few quick tips. You have to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Don't bore your audience with making it drag on for 20 or 30 minutes when it doesn't have to. Second, speak at a normal pace and avoid using medical jargon. Most of the people you're going to be talking to do speak English, however their grasp of English will not be what you're used to if you're coming from university. So keep things simple, it'll be more memorable that way. Also, smile, be confident. People respond much better to somebody who seems like they know what they're talking about than somebody who's mumbling and looking down at flashcards. On the subject of flashcards, you can use them, but don't read from them exclusively. It's much more effective if you're engaging and make eye contact with your audience than if you're staring down the entire time. Now I'd like to go through a brief outline of what your presentation might look like. Keep in mind, this is only going to be a 5 to 15 minute presentation, so it's not going to be too taxing to remember all the parts. First, obviously you should introduce yourself and your colleagues. Most of the time you're going to be doing this presentation in pairs or triplets. Make sure that you explain that you're each volunteers with Unite for Sight, Global Impact Fellows, and that you're here to give a presentation talking about the signs that might indicate that a child's experiencing a visual problem, the importance of getting that child help, and how to get children that help. Then you should probably move on to talk about the unique position of teachers vis-a-vis children in society. Teachers tend to get to see children very often, several hours a day, in an academic setting when visual acuity is at a premium. Teachers are also respected and educated people. So if a child needs help with something and a teacher needs to explain why the child needs help to a parent, they're likely to be able to get a good response. You should then move on to talk about the importance of early detection with vision problems. Having a visual problem really does affect the quality of life for a child. It makes playing sports difficult, interacting with others difficult, reading facial expressions difficult, let alone all the problems it can cause in an academic setting. Lack of ability to read close material or far away material such as chalkboards, things like that. So it's very important that kids receive care as soon as possible for any eye issue they might be having. In the next part of the presentation, you should talk to teachers about the kind of things they're going to be looking for when they're trying to keep an eye out for their kids' health in the classroom. First and foremost, some of the signs they're going to be seeing are things that relate to reduced visual acuity, such as squinting, blurred vision, double vision, inability to read close material or far away material. These sorts of things are generally less serious than some of the other stuff we're going to be talking about, so they can wait for the month-to-month visits that the eye clinic might make to the town. The more important signs, the more serious signs that teachers are really going to be keeping an eye out for are eye injuries, clouded lenses, that being things that relate to cataracts, and eyes turning inward or outward, which may relate to amblyopia. All three of these factors are part of eye diseases or eye conditions that can actually lead to permanent vision loss. Therefore, teachers should be very proactive in trying to get their kids help if they see any of these signs. To that end, if you're doing your presentation in Ghana, odds are you're going to be in a rural village that Unite for Sight visits on a monthly basis. So if you do your presentation on the first of the month, Unite for Sight will be back on the subsequent month on the first. Teachers should be made aware of this so that if they see anything in the intervening month that relates to signs of reduced visual acuity, they can wait till the clinic makes that visit and bring the child then at that point. If teachers in any sense see any of those more important signs we talked about, they should contact the clinic immediately to see if they can get that child help. In India, in Chennai, the situation will be a little different because Unite for Sight will not be making monthly visits directly to the school because the school is actually to be located within the city limits of Chennai. Therefore, teachers in Chennai need to be a bit more proactive than teachers in Ghana about getting their children eye care, being that they would have to contact the clinic in order to see any kind of personnel on the child's behalf. So when you do your presentation, do your best to use whatever presentation materials you have on hand, that being chalkboards, poster boards, or other items, to make your presentation unique and interesting. Remember, it's all about making sure the audience remembers what you're talking about, so that when they see the child having visual difficulty, they contact the clinic immediately. Thank you very much for watching this instructional video. If you have any questions, feel free to email us or look at the instructional page attached to this webpage.